Hey guys, it's Julia Pierce with Plumline Productions, and today I have a story, and the question is Wane Hailes a political hack, or is he a journalistic jester? So today I want to cover some articles that Wane Hailes has written with reference to Mark LaJoye in the past years and present, where I found some things that were a little interesting. Now, as a preface, I do not work for the Mark LaJoye campaign. I am an independent citizen with my own thoughts and my own research abilities. So I'm just going to show you some articles that Wane wrote and some of the inconsistencies that I found, and just let you guys decide for yourself whether you think he's a political hack or just a really bad journalist. So on October 1st, 2020, Wane Hailes from the Courier ended up posting an article saying, "Mark, just show us proof you weren't fired." And then asked, why is LaJoye trying to cover up the fact that he was fired by the Woodbury Police Department? And on page 2, he says, Mark LaJoye, candidate for Muscogee County Sheriff, was terminated from the Woodbury, Georgia Police Department for insubordination, and then goes on to say the matter will be investigated by the certification agency, which is Georgia Post. Says down below, LaJoye claims he was not fired for insubordination, but quote-unquote resigned because of some petty difference he had with his sergeant supervisor. And then goes on to say if LaJoye resigned and wasn't fired, it should be very easy for his campaign to cough up the proof for all eyes to see. Now, I cannot answer the question as to why Mark did not reveal this, but in previous experiences with Mark LaJoye, he's not usually someone who really feels like he has to defend himself. But you know me, I like to go and search for the truth. So I did an open records request through the Georgia Post, which Mr. Hailes could have also done, for Mark LaJoye's peace officer standards and training. And down under employment history, you will see that there is obviously no termination for any of his previous employment history. Now, I did black out the current agency with which Mark LaJoye works, as we didn't really want to cause a lot of stir with his current employer. And you'll also see that there are no sanctions or investigations for Mark LaJoye. But hey, since we're here, let's take a look at some of the recent training history he's had. He's had training in state opioid adapted response, the realities of organized crime, gangs, gang awareness, human trafficking, and fostering positive community relations. Not too bad, Mark. So my question to Mr. Hailes in regards to that article in 2020 is, did you not know that you could do a post-certification open records request? And why would you state so certainly that he was fired if you didn't do your own homework? Maybe because I know that that is libel and slander and potentially could cause a civil suit to come against you. But moving on. So here's the most recent article that Wane Hailes wrote about Mark LaJoye on May 31st, and he took an article that Mark's campaign had written and entitled his own article as Nepotism at its Best, or Ignorance at its Best, and goes on to say that he owes Sheriff Greg Countryman and his son an apology. Now, what's interesting is that Mark LaJoye's campaign, according to Hailes, ended up posting that Greg Countryman Jr. and 2 other sheriff's deputies were cited as super speeders in Americus, Georgia, which is Sumter County. Now, there was some other allegations in there of possible nepotism, but I think that was handled, and there was an apology that was put out by Mr. LaJoye as there was some verbiage in the nepotism law that actually allows for the hiring of a child as long as they are not a dependent. But Mr. Hailes here says, simply put, this is a lie, a provocation, a canard, a piece of information that is false, one that is spread deliberately to harm someone for their work. Mr. Hailes, that's not what you were doing, was it? But here he says that there were, in fact, 2 people who were cited. And he says, here's an update from the Street Committee, the Tri-City's first choice for urban news. Our information is not from a confidential source, but from the source. According to a witness, there were 2 sheriff's vehicles that were cited for speeding in Americus, Georgia. So, Mr. Hailes, if Mark LaJoye lied about that and it was a canard, and you say that you got your information from the source, where did you find the 2 citations that supposedly Mark LaJoye was lying about? And if you got them from the source, who is your source? See, I did several open records requests. I did one to the court in Sumter County. I did one to the Georgia State Patrol. I did one to the Georgia Public Safety Division, and I did one to the Sheriff's Office of Sumter County, which is also Greg Countryman's cousin, Eric Bryant. And wouldn't you know, there's not a single citation. So my question is, are you a liar? Or is there some sort of cover-up by you and potentially Greg Countryman to cover these citations? From what it looks like, either you are a really bad journalist, or you may be involved in some sort of plot to smear Mark LaJoye. So I did this request to the Georgia State Patrol, and Nikenja Green, I think that's how you say her name, responded and said, we don't have a citation issued to Greg Countryman Jr. for speeding over 100 miles per hour, and citations issued to drivers of Muscogee County government vehicles for speeding in Americus, Georgia, at any time during the dates of May 30th through June 1st, 2024. We opened a file with the reference number above and conducted an extensive search for responsive documents. That search is now complete. This agency has no documents responsive to your request. We were able to locate 2 citations issued to drivers in Marion County on a different date, which of course I told them, and you can see that above, I don't approve those charges, and honestly I didn't need that. And here is where I sent to the court in Sumter County, and they copied the sheriff. But that person, Diane Brown, responded and said, good morning, I am in receipt of your open records request. However, you will need to contact Georgia State Patrol to receive the information that you have requested. Sumter County Sheriff's Office does not have record of these incidents. Please do not hesitate to contact our office if we may be of future assistance. And here is where Sheriff Bryant responded and said, I was informed about your email earlier this week. According to my open records clerk, we didn't find any citations for the date and criteria you requested. I suggest you may want to go back to your source because we checked our database. Based on your email, you have already spoken with my state court. I will be glad to further assist in any way we can here in Sumter County. Sheriff Eric D. Bryant. So I'm really curious to see these citations, and I'm really curious to know who your source is. Y'all have a wonderful day, and make sure to follow Plumline Productions on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.